Welcome back to some professional StarCraft to a best of 3 Terran versus Protoss. Though not the one you might expect. Let me introduce, in the bottom right, the man who decided that just playing one race professionally in StarCraft 2 was far too easy, and decided he wanted a little bit more of a challenge. The man who many tournament organizers have had to pull out the rule book and say, like, are you just allowed to do that? Are you allowed to pick Protoss when you've been playing Zerg this whole time? And there's so little precedent, just says, Reynor can do what he wants. And here he is, in the playoffs of the ESL Cup. Thank you to Dave Testa for sending me and recommending these games. By the way, check him out on Twitch. He's playing Protoss again. I mean, he beat Solar with it in DreamHack Valencia, a premier tournament, a premier player, and another premier Korean. In the top left of Cosmic Sapphire. Smash that like button. I think Terran players can relate to this player more than anyone else, or at least they should. A lot of people like to consider themselves like, I'm a Byun style player. I'm a Maru style player. But when you grow up and you settle down and you get stuck in the Diamond League, you start to realize you're truly a Cure. The People's Terran. Focus on the macro, less on the micro. Gets the job done, though. He's a consistent and solid Terran, not flashy, so he often gets overshadowed by those more micro-oriented players. But thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, the ESL Cup and all the highlights lately. I hope you're enjoying. Tell me, though it's going to be kind of hard to notice, we did upgrade the quality settings a little bit. It should still be 1440. But with some new adjustments, some fancy technical magic, Jimmy said, it should look a little bit better, especially in those larger endgame scenes that we all know and love and stress out about if we ever have to play on the ladder. Speaking of stress, the Zealot that Cure's NG Bay block kind of forced out, well, ends up discouraging SCVs from being on the low ground here until some Hellions come out. Reynor, I think Protoss versus Terran is a little bit of a weaker matchup for him because, of course, there are no Zergs involved. We've seen a little bit less success. It stands to reason, of course, that Protoss versus Zerg is his strongest Protoss matchup because who better to know how to beat Zergs than one of the best ones? But PvT is definitely something he's not unfamiliar with. And now Phoenixes on the way. Phoenixes right off the bat, not opening Oracle against the Hellions. He's looking for, well, essentially a medevac drop right now. Any sort of proxy starport plays. The starport is built. A medevac is on the way. But it isn't proxy. Cure, keeping things tucked in at home. He's even got a depot down here just to, I don't know, he just decided that's a good spot for a depot. Maybe distract some units. I think almost anything Cure does as a Terran player is a good idea to copy. Most of his builds are relatively simple to execute, but they leave you in a good spot economically, with a lot of options for the later game. And with this, we got a 1-1-1. He started with 2 Hellions just to shut down those early gateway units, Adept, Zealot, and now a Marine drop. The Phoenix, I believe it spotted it, but maybe not expecting the Marines to pop out of it. Widow Mines are common off the reactored factory. Even the Hellion drop itself, but Cure with the most middle of the road. We got a Cyclone and a Viking at home. What does Reynor got? A robotic. He's playing Mektos. Alright. Here we are again. He's got 2 gateways. A Stargate, with which he's built a bunch of Phoenixes. A Robo, and the Robo Bay is already on the way. He has 4 Adepts and 4 Phoenixes, and he's sprinting towards the Colossi. I guess maybe Disruptors, but Disruptors, as an opener, makes it very easy to dodge. The Disruptors added in as another flavor of splash damage on your already convoluted splash damage portfolio. Well, that's when the real damage gets done. Tank push for Cure. Got a Cyclone, some Vikings. This has come together pretty nicely here. He combined the Medevac with the Marines. And I think Reynor's going to be hard-pressed to hold on to this base. The pylon going to go down. No warping capabilities, and boom. Canceled immediately. Cure just kind of walks across and gives him a nice chastising. Says, do you really think you can expand with no units? This is some basic StarCraft right here, Reynor. Well, the Phoenixes looking to chase. Vikings gonna ward them off. They're not to kill the Phoenixes so much as make it much harder for them to pick any of these units up. Unfortunately, the Vikings are not back at home to save that siege tank. The SCVs came off the line to try to save it. But Reynor slipping in. Starting to get some real damage now economically. There's still the push at the front. Colossus is not out. Cyclones will lock on. Tank remains on siege. Vikings hit the deck. Oh, Cyclone stays alive, and Cure playing a very efficient game thus far. Gonna take down the pylon, and once again, will he be forced to cancel the Liberator in the main? Wow, just a full circle. Killed 5 probes, 6 probes as well. Some of them at the third base here. Phoenix is trying to come back, pick up, and knock down the 1 HP Cyclone. Overall, though, so far, Cure taking a lot of small victories. Reynor getting some medium damage with the Phoenixes, but nothing decisive as of yet. You don't want to be losing any Phoenixes to just unstimmed Marines. Whoa! Well, that's not ideal. 3 Phoenixes just kind of stutter step down. And Reynor dips to 5. So far, Cure has just kind of bullied him into a late third. And behind it, Racks 4 and 5 coming online. +1 attack. More medevacs. As the Robo Bay has technically been spotted. Extended Thermal Lance is on the way. Twilight Council slapped down. As Reynor is building out the army, he's actually adding more Phoenixes back in, providing that anti-air. Cure's not even really building that many Vikings. And by that I mean, he just has the 2. Armory, Engineering Bay. Cure looking into the future. He's got 59 workers to 60 of Reynor. Well, 62 to 60 now. He's gonna stim onto the Colossi with shield batteries. No combat shield plus shield batteries. That is a tall order. And there's no taller order, really, than the Colossus. Well, it looks like we've been brought into a relatively standard mid-game. We got a Twilight Council finishing up for those basic upgrades for gateway units, and of course, for the Charge Blink. Yes, it's in production right now. Some Chew Toy depots here from Cure. I think these are pretty much explicitly for charge lots and other units to kind of get distracted. Colossi notorious for finding a depot to kill, as opposed to walking forward and dealing with the army because of their extended range. Reynor getting +1 air weapons for his Phoenixes. And I mean, why not at this point? Cure stimming in, expecting a 4th and not finding it. Which I'm not sure if that's more on Cure or on Reynor, because a 4th does seem pretty intuitive at this point. Meanwhile, though, the army Phoenixes try to intercept. It looks like several of them are gunned down. Overall, Cure has been much more efficient, though not a huge amount of damage on either side. We've already got the Disruptors added in for that extra splash flavor. An explosion of flavor, if you would. A lethal amount for all bio units. Enhanced shockwaves are on the way for the ghosts. The radius of EMP, I mean, EMP radius is already quite large, but adding another, like 40-50% to it means sometimes the entire army can be hit at once. Cures Widowmine, gets a Zealot, adding to the damage. He's kind of lightly containing Reynor right now. If Reynor moves too far out, an army moves in from the side. EMPs across the bow. No shield battery. The Vikings doing a lot of damage. One Colossus almost dead. The rest no shields. Sentries down, and Reynor getting slapped away from his base. Cure. Almost looks like he's toying with his food, but he's building out the army on the other side. Nice dodge. One Marine bites it, and Reynor whiffs. The disruptors, usually the most damage disruptors do are the first and the last shots. The first shots they found one Marine total and 2 disruptor shots. He's making 2 at a time though. There is a quality to quantity at the end of the day. Cure maintaining these double armies. Essentially playing the outer lanes of the map. How many disruptors now? 5. A fusion core is on the way. For, I have to assume, advanced ballistics. Enhanced shockwaves done. And almost the entire army hit. The Widowmine connects again. How many kills? 6 kills. I think that's like 2 sentries, 2 zealots, and a stalker. Now finally, rest in pieces. 4 liberators at a time. Dark Shrine. Another forge. Reynor filling in the gaps here, but he doesn't have that much economy to do so. Cure now on 4 bases. He's getting a 5th and a 6th and a 7th command center. Oh my. Instant replay, Jimmy. We saw the aftermath there as I was busy counting. It's a 1 command center, and 2 command center, and 3 command center. The scan and Cure. Oh my god, Cure. In typical Cure fashion, underestimates the power of shield batteries and eats a disruptor hit directly to the face. Well, the beauty of that was Cure was so convinced that he could kill it before the hit landed. And that singular hit may undercut all his momentum, as there isn't enough strength in the army on that side of the map anymore. It can no longer reliably threaten the base. And Reynor is going to be comfortably getting... How many disruptors? He's got 8 the Octoruptor. Good luck. Good luck dodging that. Of course, some Protoss players will panic and fling out every shot at once. You don't want to spend all your shots too early. That leaves everyone disappointed. Meanwhile, though, Liberators, they don't have advanced ballistics. They don't need it as Reynor moves out. Cure moves in, backstabbing the economy. Stalkers being warped in. I'm not even sure how many warp-ins he can do. He's nearly maxed. 9 probes down. And Reynor actually just backs off. He has Phoenixes. But this buys Cure a whole lot of space to establish not his 4th, but his 5th. He's got more upgrades coming online. +3 is finishing up. +3 armor is not too far behind it. +2 ship weapons, which allows the Liberators to 2-shot Stalkers. Assuming there's not a bunch of armor and shield upgrades. Reynor is just getting 2-2. DT Blink, the popular late game option, the double Ds of destruction. In fact, wow, Cure spotted and EMP'd the DTs. Alright, disruptors though. Oh, chunky hit, center mass. I don't want to be caught between a rock and a hard place here. More command centers on the way as Cure is maxed out, looking for more shots. EMP lands. These disruptors are finding solid chunks though. The Liberator count is pretty damn high. Only 2 Liberators on the back line. Another shot. Another hit. The Phoenix is looking for more. Try to target down. The +1 helping out. Shield battery overcharge underneath. The Colossi melting through. Disruptor shots continue to land. Liberator still intact. Shield battery overcharge helped with a lot. It looks like some DTs attempted to kill the planetary, but Cure tried to shove himself in between the rocks and that choke point. And, well, the Disruptor Hammer is brought down on the anvil. And in between it was much of Cure's army. Nuclear missile. I mean, why not? It's pretty cheap. Though Cure did just take a pretty big L in that last battle there. The Liberators have been adding up a lot of damage. Overall, Reynor has still lost slightly more minerals. And well, 86 probes, I guess, gives you a bit of leeway when you lose some. Did he get? So Cure didn't actually get advanced ballistics at the fusion core. He's getting high-sec auto tracking. So I guess what else are you gonna get with the NG Bay? A shot flung out. Blink DTs sharking around, looking for a target. Meanwhile, Disruptor shot. Oh, targeted. Another one taken out. The Viking count has slowly but surely nuclear missile is launched at the natural. Reynor, I mean, there's a lot going on right now. Cure adding up the distractions. The nuke looks like it's gonna land the Venn diagram of freedom here. Gets 13 probes alongside it. Beautiful timing and placement on the nuke. This is what Cure is all about. Cure is, yeah, he's losing these fights. He's losing the battles, but okay, so this is awkward. A bunch of okay, so the Ghost nuked the pylon that depowered the robos, but a bunch of cloak boys come in. Cure is gonna try to land his command center on Reynor's Nexus, which is at the gold base, because of course that's what's happening. A nice dodge here in the center. So eventually someone's going to do something about this. I'm just not sure which side. It looks like a bunch of Blink DTs, which cannot fly, much to their dismay. More nukes, but a single nuke on the way from the single Ghost Academy. The Blink DTs, everything coming together. Oh, the Ghost just being eviscerated. The scan is off the mark, and the Blink just rips the Marines to shreds. A Viking is headed over to the side. What a game, by the way. +3/+3 done for Reynor as he's starting to take wins across the board. Cure forced to retreat. His medevacs being gunned down by the Blink Stalkers as well. More being warped in. Still no anti-air to deal with this. A few ghosts on the side. EMP's himself. There's not quite enough units. Reynor's army is moving towards the top right. A lot of chew toy buildings here to deal with it. A recall of 3 Colossi to the bottom left corner as this battle starts to escalate even more. What a mess. The Viking count is too damn high. Reynor may have just fed him 3 more Colossi. And with the EMPs, the shield stripped away. Cure's army is enough, but some Zealots. Now, did he break on his side of the map? A few Zealots are able to slip in, but the Planetaries are holding the line for now. The Disruptors and Probes will high-five to opposite sides of the map. Another shot. Doesn't quite find what he's looking for. Landed Vikings have to dodge away from Disruptor shots, but with the Disruptors, there may be enough to defend. You gotta be careful with the Zealots, as they don't mix well with Disruptor shots. Another shot, finds something, but there's just not that many units here. Cure is closing in. Another shot! They're all good, but none of them are great. And now the Disruptors are taken out. Cure is down to 65 workers. Reynor plummets to... Checks notes. 89? What? Which means his army supply is tiny. He's got 44 with the 6 Zealots he's warping in. Another nuke is launched at the 3rd. I think Reynor will pick up on this one. There's not much else going on. Are you kidding me with these nukes, though? Okay, he sees this one. The nuke lands. It gets a few pylons. Zealots, as Cure has taken up residence at the gold. Disruptor shots being dodged. He's trying to target. He doesn't hit. He misses. He's on the wrong disruptor. Loses too many units. Reynor chases back. Well. Liberators. Need I say more? Zealots. 26 zealots. There's only 6 stalkers to 6 liberators, which is just not enough anti-air. It's nearing checkmate when it comes to the liberator count, but Reynor still has plenty of economy to try to avoid it. Speaking of liberators, protecting the planetary, a safe zone. This is one of the more fun games I've ever seen, by the way. Both these players making mistakes, but they're doing it so quickly and in such reckless methods. In such reckless methods. Ah, yes. As the Proverbs foretold. Meanwhile, Reynor has another expeditionary force of essentially everything you can build out of gateways. In fact, I don't even think he has a Templar archives. No, just the Dark Templar. He hasn't even built any Archons. He's just fighting with Dark Templar. Meanwhile, Zealots, he has to dodge his own disruptor hit in order. Meanwhile, disruptors ward away most of Cure's army, but there's barely any gateway units. Another shot. Another hit. More Zealots from the north. Base being taken out. Liberators taking pot shots, whittling down the Zealot and DT count. But Cure will lose another base, though his army supply remains strong. Reynor at 91 probes, now getting outflanked. I'm not sure who's flanking who. Blink out on both sides, Stim to chase. Zealots rotating around the north. Reynor's taken the top base. Cure has secured the gold. Another scan. Whittles down another DT. Reynor is now expanding. Cure gonna see it. There's a Zealot also chilling. And a few SCVs just sent over here. I'm not sure why we're long distance mining at this point, but there goes the Nexus. And Reynor, the interesting thing about this map is you can't take an even number of bases with your opponent. The gold is a single gold. There is nothing on the other side the other player can take. So this is the decider. The gold base makes all the difference, but Reynor commits a lot of units to that left side, and that leaves him with a relatively bare-bones defense on his outlying bases to the north. There is energy for a recall, but it's already too late. That the Nexus has taken far too much damage. 12 SCVs have died in the last minute, but 26 probes will join them. What a mess. And where does that leave us? No closer to a conclusion. In terms of resources mined, Cure has mined more gas. Another nuke. This one at one of the only fresh mining bases. Reynor has reclaimed that bottom left corner. Nuclear missile lands. A ghost gonna take out a few of the extra probes. Reynor has thrust into the gap here, in between the outlying bases, the army, and the production, but the supplies are even. The army supply is still heavily in favor of Cure. There's not a single disruptor on the field, though the Viking count is at 0 with 3 in production. The Ghost, for not the first time this game, the DTs will chase down the Ghost on their side of the map. A Liberator. I'm not sure if that's even... Okay, it has 1 kill. I don't think it's the same one. The Observer not able to outrun the high-sec auto-tracking missile turret. 6 SCVs in production at a time. As Cure tries to replenish what scraps of economy. The thing is, it seems like he has consolidated a lot better than Reynor has. As Reynor's been struggling between the nukes. Wow, an Archon joined the field. A drop. Reynor is now... He's kind of left without anything. He blinks in, but the +2... Wait, +3 ship weapons Liberator. Two-shotting those Stalkers. Suddenly, Reynor's fallen apart. Cure is he's held on. SCVs will go down alongside the planetary, but the gold is taken out as we're rotating around the map, trading bases. The drop, he's just targeting the Nexus and getting dangerously close to killing it, but the recall saves the day. Reynor down to 32 probes. What a mess. Two disruptor. He's going back. He's pulling the disruptors back out, as that was the unit that really Cure struggled to deal with. And right now he needs something. The problem is, as the unit counts dwindle, it becomes more predictable and more obvious where the disruptors are and when to dodge them. There is always the opportunity for that one shot that changes the entire game. We'll have to see. Cure has held. Cure's specialty. Reynor not able to keep up with the multi-prong. It's going to come down to the disruptor shots and prayers. Even now, like the Viking, there are 9 Vikings added in with +3 ship weapons. They're actually very capable on the ground, too. The Disruptors, the Desperation Ruptors, completely off the mark. Still no advanced ballistics. He never researched it. Despite the fusion core, it was aesthetically pleasing. It's for show. It's for decoration. All right, every good base needs a fusion core. Otherwise, how will people know you're rich and famous? Another army. EMP. A Stalker count still high enough. 3 Colossi means the Bio army gonna struggle. It feels like Reynor is on his last legs, even though they're very long and sinewy, as the Colossi are. He's got 33 probes. There's only so many mineral patches left to mine. Cure has re-established the gold, and at this point it feels like he's waiting for Reynor to make a mistake. There are a lot of options to do so. 6 Disruptors, though, against 25 Marauders and 42 Marines. 50 supply of Marauders. So there's a lot of juicy targets for the Disruptors to hit. Oh, that's quite a choke point. EMP. Cure's still making SCV. Well, he lost... he lost a few more. The Vikings, Liberators. At this point, kind of annexing this location. Trying to create a beachhead, almost literally, so his units can move through. The Disruptors warding back. Another shot. The units kind of pushing each other into the battle. Oh, doesn't quite get that Liberator. Stalkers wandering in. Another army attempts to take out... It's not the main. It's another orbital. One of the many command centers. Another shot fired. Decent shot. Are there enough Disruptors? It doesn't look like it. He's out of shots. Another shot comes in. The Disruptors weren't in the fight. In a classic UGG. And I mean, can you blame him? And Reynor will drop this game. Cure holds on. As Cure so often does. I gotta give him all the credit. He's always so good at that. Like... no Cure. Okay. It does feel a bit of an anticlimactic end, as for about 5 minutes there, it was clear the direction it was trending. But Reynor gets another chance. So good in the mid-game, but Cure has the experience and the scrappiness, which is a technical medical term. Though if you have too much scrappiness, you should consult a doctor or a specialist today. But Reynor, I guess the answer is Sky Toss. Carriers, Tempests. I don't blame Reynor for wanting to avoid that. He's obviously a more mid-game, high-action-oriented player. But at some point, you gotta reach for the skies. Or at least find yourself among the Stargazers. Game 2. Now, a bit of a spicier map. Pocket base blocked by some mineral walls. A vertical symmetry and another map. And I do like this. Where a gold base defines the half map. Like a gold base being the focal point of the later game. Gives you something to fight over rather than go back to your corners and build up and hope you can win the war of attrition in the next 50 minutes. We will see if it comes to that. I think that game was Pure Cure, which sounds like an awkward corporate logo, but Pure Cure. Buy today. Ask your doctor if Pure Cure is right for you. But I think Reynor is very capable of winning any game that goes, well, ends at less than 20 minutes. Those disruptor dodges were almost non-existent at times. I still can't get it. Like, I feel Cure had a lot of momentum right up until he tried to target down a disruptor and failed, eating like 25 supply of bio deaths. We've all been there. The people's Terran. So while there is that pocket base, it does have, I believe, 40 mineral patches. Or maybe they're 10, and it's the mineral walls that 40. I gotta wait until somebody starts mining them to check, but that means minerals, the strongest wall in the game, can only be chipped away by the lowly worker. Even a barrage of nuclear missiles will make no noticeable impact. Marine. The probe slips away. It is Marine first. No Reaper this game for Cure. Factory is the choice. A nice safe 1-1-1. A depth shade. Yes. Reminiscent of Battle on the Boardwalk. Some boardwalks here. Every Twitch chatter's favorite map. Battle on the Boardwalk. And the map that was vetoed until you were in a best of 7 and couldn't veto the map anymore. For everyone else. Adept actually completes the shade into Recall. The full map teleport. Phoenix is again, so this does seem to be the favored strategy for Reynor. Not a response, but the initiative. Alien finds the probe. Unhappy about that. Alright. Okay, so back here are the 10 mineral patches. I think the reason, and this is a little clever, the reason there are 2 mineral patches instead of 1 larger mineral patch, so mules can't mine them out easier. Because a mule can mine 25 minerals on a pickup. So this means you'd need 2 mules or 2 trips. And it doesn't give Terran that small advantage. Which has made Terran players very angry. Okay, it's fine, but I don't think mules, and that's another reason why these are 40 mineral patches on the ramp here. Well, all right, get them out. As we had a spectator. We don't pause for anyone here. Like and subscribe for doing it less than live, but thank you again to Dave Testa for recommending and sending these games. And I think that Cosmic Sapphire game was already, if this game just ends because, I don't know, Cure drops 4 Widow Mines and wins the GSL and wins the match, it was still worth it for that last match. Engineering Bay, Stim, 3 racks, the vanilla ice cream of Terran builds. Reynor gonna scout across. He's going for the Robo Bay directly into Colossi. Does seem to be the play. Phoenix Colossus is a strat we've flirted with for many years. Many Protoss players have given it a shot, but overall, the fact that Terran is so flexible, and essentially with Phoenix Colossus, you always got to have your Phoenix and your Colossi. Well, the Widow Mine hidden. I didn't notice it. Reynor didn't notice it. Well, now we both do. Anyways, Phoenix Colossus means you have to have all your pieces together to fight, which gives it feels very brittle in many scenarios. Like we kind of saw last game, where if you split your Phoenixes off, that leaves the Colossi with no air cover. And if you don't have your Colossi, the Phoenixes just die to Marines. So, while it can be powerful if you force a fight in the right locations, solid Terran players will find many ways to avoid that and outmaneuver it. And it takes a while for the army to come together as well. They're all expensive tech units that build relatively slowly, compared to warping and gateway units, for example. Stim, combat, shield, another command center, a 3rd command center for Cure, not bothering with the pocket base. Reynor, on the other hand, already has his fully mining. Extended thermal lance, just now finished. Infantry weapons level 1 is good, but thermal lance is better. But not if you can't use them. He scrambles both. Wow. 2 Colossi have to sit there and watch as the Terran army rips through the front line. Yes, the interference matrices are about to run out. A couple zealots warping in. The Phoenixes, Widow Mines, still zoning them out. The Colossi finding good damage, but wow, just a sentry goes down as well. Cure just shaves off most of the Gateway army. He's not able to get the Colossi, doesn't get many Phoenixes. But now he's lined up a weakness, and I think he's about to exploit the main weakness of Phoenix Colossus, is if you don't have all the pieces in the same place, it's very easy to fall apart. Dropping into the back base. The Phoenixes try to intercept, but Cure has brought enough units that he can kind of shrug it off. The Colossi are wandering back. This is Reynor's vision. There's a Widow Mine out there, but the army sees the Colossi move back, the Colossi waffling back and forth, but the probes are getting gunned down. The Nexus itself. He pats himself on the back with the shield battery overcharge, but there's just too much DPS, another interference matrix. And right now, Cure is tearing him apart. This is almost clinical. Hit him where he's weak. And he draws the army to the north. The Colossi come back, spots it, brings it in, knocks out the 3rd. I mean, it's not particularly complicated. It's not flashy, but it is incredibly effective. Those medevacs, maybe just... Yeah, wait for the Phoenixes to move along. One way to turn this around would be losing 3 full medevacs of units. That definitely wouldn't help Cure here. 2 robos are being rebuilt. The robo bay is in the main. Reynor has been stuck. Well, he's got a few Phoenixes on the other side to take out SCVs, which does reveal that indeed the Phoenixes are not at home. The army into the natural. Keeps the Colossi busy. For the drops in the third. A recall of what? Oh no, that's a disaster. He recalls the Colossi on top of the army. The Widow Mines connect. There's still the army outside the front base. The shield battery overcharge actually keeps the Colossus alive, but Cure masterclass right here. Just beautifully done. This style, oh my. The sound of reloading. And the sound of 2 Gs. As Cure takes it 2-0. A decisive match from the Korean Terran. Comes out on top. Thank you guys for watching. It'd be amazing not only if you like this video, but you check out this one as well. Jimmy, put the... Thank you, Dave Tester, for sending the replays. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. See you next time. Stay chill.